So we're now about to kick off our cable hat. So you'll need your yarn, you'll need your circular needles, you'll need your scissors, and you will need a darning needle. But before we actually cast the stitches on, I want you to create that first stitch by creating a little loop and pulling that through to secure your first stitch. And then that's where you would put your needle. So let's do that again. I want you to create a little loop, bring that through and secure, and that will be your first stitch. So now we're ready to do the cast on. So stick your needle into that loop and wrap your yarn around your little finger clockwise, around your thumb clockwise, and around your other little finger anti-clockwise. And so just stick your needle into that loop and pull. So wrap around, stick your needle in, pull the yarn around and pull. Lap around, put your needle in and around and pull. So continue that for the rest of the round. So before we join our stitches, I want to bring your attention to this stitch marker. So we're going to add a little stitch marker on there. And what I normally do is just thread that little end tail through it so it keeps it nice and secure, otherwise it's just moving all over the place. So now we're going to join in the round. So keeping everything flat and straight. So you'll see that's all straight. I tend to grab this little tail yarn there and bring that underneath. And we are going to start off with a purl stitch. So what we're going to do is take that needle and we're going to go left into that loop in front of that needle and do your first purl one. So and just make sure that that's all nice and secure. Then you're going to knit one. Now I've covered this in the other video on the gauge. So you're going to knit one, which is down the rabbit hole, around the tree, out the rabbit hole, pop goes she. And we're going to do 6 of those. So down the rabbit hole, around the tree, out the rabbit hole, pop goes she. So keep going there on the 6. So you'll see here that I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12 stitches on my needle here. Now you're wondering, I can't keep going with that, otherwise it'll stretch it. What you need to do is once you've got about 10 or 12 on the needle, just pull that through and then start again. So again, down the rabbit hole, around the tree. And continue that. So just do 11 to 12 stitches, pull through and then start again. And work that round to the marker. So coming round to the marker on row 1, you will end with knit 6, and it's important to just check that you are ending on that, otherwise you have made a mistake somewhere along here. So just go make sure that you are finishing with knit 6. And for rows 2 and 3, you will continue the same pattern the whole way around. So continue this, purl 1, knit 6 for row 2 and 3, and then I will pick you up for the cable row on row 4. So for row 4, keeping our yarn straight, we will purl that first stitch, and then what I want you to do is take your double pointed needle and I want you to slip those first 3 stitches onto that needle, and then I want you to knit behind the next 3 stitches. So keep that needle, double pointed needle in front and knit the 3 stitches behind. This is your C6F, and it's called C6F because you're holding those front 3 stitches at the front. Okay, let's do that again. So purl 1, and then what we do is we take the first 3 stitches, take them onto your double pointed needle, knit your next 3 stitches and bring those 3 back across. So that's your C6F. And continue that for the rest of the round, and then you will repeat these last 4 rows the number of times that's on your pattern based on your size. So continue that. I will then pick you up at the first shaping row. So we're now at shaping row 1. Now you'll notice here that I have changed color, and it was because I bought 2 shades of blue, but they were 2 different shades, so I've just changed it to cream. But it does no harm to just show you that, you know, that you can change and add different colors into your mix. So here what we've got is shaping row 1, and what we're going to do is we're going to purl 1, so purl into that stitch, then we're going to knit 1, and then we're going to knit 2 together. So you're going to take this angle and bring those 2 stitches together. So again, knit 2 together and then knit 1. So let's do that again. So this is shaping row 1. So knit 1, knit 2 together in that cable, knit 2 together in that cable, and knit 1. So that's shaping row 1. So for shaping row 2, it is just really a plain purl and knit 4, and continue that for the rest of the round. So we're now on shaping row 3, so we're going to purl 1, and now what we've got a new stitch is C4F. And what I want you to do on C4F is to take the first 2 stitches onto, slip those first 2 stitches onto your cable needle or crochet needle, knit the back 2, and then bring those 2 forward on the front. So that is C4F. Again, let's do that again. Purl 1, and then you're going to slip those first 2 stitches onto your needle, and then knit 2, and then bring those first 2 back on to your needles. Okay, so we're now on shaping row 4, and what we're going to do on shaping row 4 is we're going to purl 1, and we're going to learn a new stitch. We're going to knit 2 together, but instead of going that way, we're going to go that way. So, and the reason we're doing that is because if we did it that way, the stitch is going to move in the wrong direction. So what we want to do is go into the back of that stitch. Again, knit 2 into the back of that stitch. Purl 1, knit 2. So you're knitting 2 into the back of that loop or stitch, knit 2 into the back. And that shows you that the cable is going in the right direction. So we're now on shaping row 5. So let's keep going on that. So purl 1, knit 2 into the back of the stitch, purl 1, knit 2 into the back of the stitch. So we're now at the beginning of row 6, and so just a pattern check, you should be starting with a purl stitch. So that's a purl stitch there, so you know that your pattern's right and that you're at the start of a row. So what we need to do for this last row is just knit 2 into the back of the stitch, starting knitting 2 into the back of the stitch, knitting 2 into the back of the stitch, making sure that all of your stitches are coming through on the left hand needle. So knitting 2 into the back of the stitch, knitting 2 into the back of the stitch. And this will get a little bit tight, so the way to manage this is just to bring that circular needle through and then bring the remaining stitches onto your left needle. So knit 2 into the back of the stitch, knit 2 into the back of the stitch. And it is a bit tricky because you've got very, very few stitches now. So just bring all of those stitches onto this left needle. So knit 2 into the back of the stitch, knit 2 into the back of the stitch, and that'll be your remaining. So pull all of those stitches round, and then I'll show you how to secure it. Finish off, bring all of your stitches onto the one needle, and then cut your thread through your darning needle, and then just bring this around to the front, and then just pick off each stitch to pick off each stitch so that you're threading through this yarn, and just pull that round, and then just take it through to the other side. And then for there, just thread it through to secure. And then just snip it.